Hi there, and welcome to the final song description from one of the songs that's going on the Digital Busking 2 Returns to the Kitchen CD that we're about to release. So I thought to talk about a song, Little Angel song, which was on the Young Gods record, Natural Born Fighter. Now I'm hesitating because it's a song that I don't like the recording of on the record. I've got to be honest. I'm going to admit that hand on heart. It started out really promising, and it was kind of a companion piece to Young Gods. And because the Young Gods album, the Young Gods song I'm talking about here, but because the Young Gods album, as it ended up, was had a kind of conceptualization of it, sort of a concept record, sort of, very loosely. And we only started realising that as we started coupling the songs together, and there was a lot of deliberate placing of songs next to each other on that record. But I think, you do misstep with things like this. You can get yourself in a twist about where things go when you make records, especially like I've said on earlier conversations about how the pressure that I remember we felt about making these albums, just because we were young and we'd had a bit of relative success with the first record, and there was expectation and demands from the label and all the rest of it. So I'd spent a lot of time writing songs. I was still living in Scarborough, living at my mum and dad's place, and I spent a lot of time every day. I was in my bedroom, literally. I had a keyboard set up, I had my guitar, I had an electric guitar, I had my dictaphone. That's all I recorded stuff on. I had this plastic dictaphone, and I spent hours in there working on ideas, listening to music, sort of conjuring the ideas and conjuring the concepts. And I remember that I got bored of playing the guitar, and I was really frustrated that I kept going to the same chord progressions all the time. And so I decided I would have a go at the keyboards. And Jim had very kindly lent me this one of his cheaper keyboards, a plastic sort of keyboard thing that had basic sounds on it, but it had a basic piano sound on it. And I can remember working on, I was thinking about, I think Eye of the Tiger, really. I think that's the reality of it, that song, and I love the Rocky films and all the rest of it. And I was sort of thinking, I can absolutely remember thinking, I want to write my song about a street fighter, and that, in conjunction and combination with the song Young Gods, it made a lot of sense. And you've got to remember at the time, we weren't going to call the album Young Gods, of course, we were going to call it Spitfire. And that had been a title that had been right at the front of our thinking for a long time. And because the whole idea of Spitfire was about determination and about young people striding forth and not taking no for an answer and doing good and positive things and making something of yourself. It was never a war, an album about war, never at all. Couldn't be further from the truth. But that kind of idea. So that was what it was all about. So I felt, when I sort of turned on the keyboard, I was channeling these ideas, and I was thinking about Eye of the Tiger and thinking about Young Gods and all these sorts of things. I can remember very quickly playing that opening refrain, down da 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 down, do 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 boom, down da 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 da, because it kind of reminded me of the sort of Rocky theme tune and all that sort of stuff. So that's where it kind of came from, and I think it was kind of a joke to start with. But I remember taking it into the rehearsal room with the guys, and I'd written the whole thing pretty much, and everyone went, oh yeah, that's great, let's do that, it's going to be great. So it was really important as a song for a long time, and we took it in the studio. And I think it's quite a standard thing that the songs that you often think are going to be the ones that are really going to work are the ones that often go to the back of the pack. And I think in the case of that recording, that would be my feeling, that it didn't quite measure up to what we wanted it to be, sadly. And I know, I will caveat this by saying I fully understand that it's a fan favourite and a lot of fans absolutely love it. And of course, when I went and rediscovered it on the record, in the process of working up these songs acoustically, I started to really like it again. So yeah, just again, a great opportunity to revisit that song, and I really hope you like this performance. Thank you.